Kids, it's Martin Luther King Day 2015, and I have some things to say. What an amazing, unbelievable 2015 MLK Day I had today. As some of you might know, I live in the beautiful, sophisticated garden that is Florida. In a small, rural town that is the county's 95% white, 87% Republican, conservative, small town, white America. Suffice to say, and older. Now, today I had my best friend, who's black, and one of his friends, who is Latin and Middle Eastern combo. We decided we were going to go out for brunch. And there's only a couple places that are even open in my little town, usually. So we went to the first place that we had gone to the day before, and it was closed on MLK Day for some reason. I don't know why. I guess they decided to take the holiday off, but they really didn't advertise that very well. So then we went to the only other place on my side of the county that was even open, which was doing a good business, but not packed. And we got there, and I had gone to this restaurant once when it first opened, and I wasn't very impressed with either the food or the service. And so begrudgingly, we walked through the door. And that's when the spirit of Martin Luther King came through, shining like an angel from above. Yes, kids. They looked at us like we were aliens with green skin. This lady did. And she didn't know quite what to do, so she just told us to wait a minute. Then someone else who was walking from the other side of the restaurant, an employee, was looking ahead with these saucer-like eyes and trying to process exactly what they were going to do about this situation they had at their front door. So she thought quick on her feet. She grabbed 3 menus, and she escorted us around the corner through an archway into this little corner space with 2 seating options. Now, mind you, my best friend I'm not tiny, but my best friend is rather large. So he has, sometimes it's a challenge to sit at a booth. And they had a booth that was really stuck away in the corner, and then they had a table kind of out in the middle of that back corner space away from the rest of the dining room. So they stuck us back in the booth in the very corner without asking us where we wanted to sit or giving us a choice or an option. They threw the menus down and walked away. And that was the best of the service. It went downhill from there. Now, when the waitress came to take our drink order, and she walked away because we ordered 2 coffees and a glass of water was the drink orders. My best friend and I ordered coffee, and his friend ordered a glass of water. So when the waitress, I made a joke to my best friend's friend. I said, "Oh, by the way, when she comes back, if your glass is marked colored, don't be surprised." Just because of the way the woman treated us when she took the order, so I was being snarky. I was flabbergasted when she comes back with a glass of water in a mason jar that they put moonshine in, and it wasn't marked colored at least. But I was given a white coffee mug, and my friend was given a dark brown coffee mug. And I looked around. I had the view of the rest of the dining room because they hid them in the corner behind the wall so they couldn't be seen, or at least seen by as few people as possible. But at least I had a view of the dining room, and I noticed that all these other white people had white coffee mugs. Seriously. I took a picture of it. I posted it on Facebook. It was gobsmacking. Then we ordered, and my best friend's friend is a vegetarian. And the woman looked at him like he was such a nuisance and such a bother, like she was going to have to create some special slop for a farm animal. No kidding. And then my best friend, who's college educated, she spoke with him with this shrill, loud, it was physically louder, like she was kind of almost screaming at him, and this shrill tone, as if he was a dumb nigger that was so uneducated that he was going to have trouble understanding and ordering. And I was just mortified, absolutely mortified. And so we sat and kind of like in disbelief, like how is this gonna like play out? Like, could it get it? It was like watching a car accident in slow motion. Could it get any worse? Could it? That was the question. Then our meal comes out, and I got my meal all at once, totally accurately and completely. The other two, not so much. The brown skin folks, not so much. The Middle Eastern Latin, she forgot to even order one of the items. And my best friend, he only got part of his order, and they were coming out with the rest. And they said that on both. It was just like, oh no, she didn't. She came out with mine first, complete, and then she brought out theirs after, and they weren't even complete. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. And I watched her with her other tables. She would check in every few minutes and make sure she refilled coffee and stuff. And I had to hail her down like a New York City taxi cab to finally get a refill on my coffee. Not kidding. It was absolutely gobsmacking. I was never so mortified to be white and embarrassed to be white than in that moment. Awful. Now, the day before, we went out for brunch. And on Sunday, on the day of Jesus, you know, when the white folks go out to church, or as I said, the Paulists go out to temple. And it was right after church hour, so it was busy, and it was full of folks that had gone to church, and now they were going to eat. And some of them were finishing up, and they're still in their good church clothes. And when we walked in, it was my best friend who's black, his friend that's Latin and Middle Eastern with the darker skin tone, my friend who's Latin American but light skin tone, and me. And you would have thought the circus came to town when we walked in the restaurant. And there were people literally pointing and talking out loud about us, loud enough for us to hear. 2015. Wilting. Not kidding. So, if anyone tells you, ever, that there's no problem with racism in this country, or that racism doesn't exist and it's something passé, you can call bullshit on it, because it's truly bullshit. This country has a huge racism problem. And for a while, it was kind of uncouth to let it be seen, so it was just kind of done on the down low. But now it seems that there's a certain culture in this country that takes pride in being racist, and takes pride in this hate, and this distaste for anything different from themselves. And it's almost like a badge of honor to be a complete asshole. So, congratulations, complete assholes. And I'm so glad you're getting double time on MLK Day. Talk to you later.